Welcome, new students. Welcome, returning students. Welcome, new and returning parents. I am Michael D'Abruzzo. My students know me as Mr. D. This is my email address. You might want to grab that right away. It's mdabruzzo at swboces.org. And welcome to my first online lecture. This is recorded, obviously, because we're in an ever-changing environment right now. I plan on recording all my lectures, so no matter what's going on with the students, since all our districts are doing something a little bit different, I know at least I can get the information to all the students, whether they're with me or not, or whether we're live or not. Everything will be recorded, so there will be no excuse for any of the students to miss any of the information. So this is also my first practice round, trying my little studio over here for you. But let me get started. This is a small animal science class, is what it's technically referred to, although you can think of it more as an introduction to pet careers. This class, it is very good class. The students have a huge advantage in this class. BOCES, it is obviously a career school to get students career ready. And with the small animal science class, it is really excellent because not only do we prepare the students to be employable right after graduation with animals, whether they go to further schooling or not, we actually give a huge advantage to students that also want to go to college to work in the animal field. The colleges for sure favor the students that come to this class if they want to explore the veterinary sciences, zoology, things like that. A little bit about me is I am very similar to all the instructors at BOCES, is where they get their instructors from the field, those that have experience. So I've been in the pet careers field for over 2 decades. I graduated high school in 1993 and pretty much jumped right into a veterinary science program and have been working with animals ever since. So it has allowed me to get a lot of experience, working in small animal hospital, working in research. You could see a picture of me there with some chimpanzees. I used to take care of a chimpanzee nursery at a research facility. You can see me there with a German Shepherd. I was handling an explosive detection dog during the September 11th recovery efforts. I worked obviously as an animal trainer for many, many years, doing everything from service dogs to police dogs, military dogs. I still work as a consultant for government agencies and professional trainers. I ran my own kennel business as well, where we did everything from animal training and group classes and grooming the dogs. So I've been in the trenches, and I have a love for animals. I have a love for well-trained professionals in the animal field. I believe it is needed, and I love giving students an advantage, teaching them the things that I wish I knew before I entered the field myself. And it's very fun, especially us living in this area in New York. I've been able to be on TV. I'm still a consultant for Inside Edition, and it's great stuff. Also, I am a former military guy too. I mean, more specifically, I was in the National Guard. I was deployed in pretty much all of 2004 during the early part of Operation Iraqi Freedom. I was a medic that worked with the Quick Reaction Force, which is basically like 911 out there. And you can see me there. I'm treating an Iraqi child. And over here, I was always into animals, even when I was over there. I was involved with some of the first rescuing of some of like the stray dogs out there. I just couldn't stay away from them, even though while I was deployed. Um, this class, we do focus on. We learn a lot. I mean, there's really a lot of stuff the students learn, but there's a few things that we do focus on. I call it the big four. I focus on four things that I think are very, very difficult for students um, to be good at unless they're doing hands-on stuff with this for long periods of time. So most of these students I have for 2 years. So I want to give them a huge advantage getting hands-on work with certain things they're just not going to even get in college if they go to college. One main one is animal husbandry, is being able to take care of a lot of different types of animals. Pretty much everything you walk into a PetSmart or a pet store, everything from the bird section to the aquarium section to the creepy crawly section, is I want them to feel very, very comfortable knowing how to take care of all these things. This also opens the doors to things like zoos and stuff like that. And of course, being very knowledgeable and being an asset if they work in the veterinary field. In many cases, even more knowledgeable than the veterinarians and stuff that they work for that may have just specialized in something like dogs and cats or something like that. And here you'll see I have a student, actually we had visitors from another animal program visiting. We were kind of doing like a show and tell sort of thing, which was a lot of fun. Students do 2 years of animal restraining and lifting and weighing and feeling comfortable handling all kinds of animals. Behind my head over here, you can see one student restraining a cat while another one is clipping its nails. Students this year will get certified in pet first aid and CPR. And they get a card, and it's good for 2 years, and they could renew it, which will obviously be a big advantage to put on their resume and also for their own confidence. Even things like pet sitting and stuff like that. It really helps them out. Another thing very difficult to get experience at, very, very hard, is animal grooming. So students do learn how to groom. We pretty much always have a dog in the room that can be groomed. And we have a new returning student. She'll be excited. Our front room, even though it's not in there now, we kind of just have like an empty pipe there because the sink was removed. We're having our second grooming tub installed. So now even when one tub is being used for other purposes, we have a second one in the front room. So we even have an extra grooming tub. So students do learn how to groom in the class, and some students really like it, and they get really, really good at it, even way better than what I am. So I just let them go to town and groom as much as they want. And different teachers bring in their dogs to be groomed. Students bring in their dogs to be groomed. We'll go over how to get a dog to come in to be groomed. So grooming is something else that we do. Next thing that we also do is animal training. So animal training, which I don't have in that PowerPoint. Let's go over to our YouTube channel. What's that? Let's go to our YouTube channel. We do have a YouTube channel here. You could always check out some of the videos we have in the class. It's actually you could just search it my name, Michael D'Abruzzo, or you do SW Bosse's Animal Science, and usually a video will pop up. Animal training is very, very, very hard to find experience in. This year, it'll be one of the main subjects that we do on a very deep level, meaning the students this year will be training mostly our rats. If you're squirmish about rats, I promise you won't be after this year. They're super cute. And we can expect the students to be teaching them, the rats, to do scent detection and the stuff that's equivalent to like service dog work, like retrieving stuff and pushing buttons or whatever we could really think of. So The rats are really great. All the students get assigned their own rat. They're not going to share any this year, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Just to show you, let's see, let's click on something. This is a student last year. Even though we weren't really doing animal training, the students were allowed to play with the rats. And this one over here, yeah, that's Maddie. She's teaching the rat to put the little ball inside of the basket, and they really are super cute. Really love our rats. Let's go back to our YouTube channel here. Whoops, Q will be cleared. Close player, sure. We'll close player. All right. So we got small animal husbandry, veterinary assistant, grooming, animal training. All right. So not only will they be working with rat, of course, all the students could do the rats, and what they learn with the rats can be applied to parrots, to zoo animals, to everything. Nowadays, they have it's a skill to put on their resume. They're looking for more of this. It's hard to find people qualified to train animals. They're even training things like tigers to put their tails out of the cage so we can take blood from them without darting them. It's actually really amazing stuff. Now, I said 4 main things we focus on in the class, but I kind of lied. There's really a 5th major one, and that's the skill of being employable, which is huge in the classroom. The new students will see right away the atmosphere is very different from any class they have ever been in. Pretty much we're teaching them how to be able to maintain a job, be liked at that job, and not get fired. So certain things you see in the home schools are just non-existent. Anything that resembles bullying on even the slightest level basically does not exist in the class because we handle it right away. And we have a great program and counseling program for students that have a problem with it. And we're very strict with it. And bullying, we're not just talking about like the stereotypical, like calling people names or pushing people. We're talking everything from right down to gossiping, or leaving someone out of something. We jump right on it, all right? Because this stuff, of course, not only do we obviously don't want it in the school, we don't want to do anything that makes any student feel isolated or not want to come to the classroom. These are behaviors that will also cause problems in the workplace and ultimately can get some students fired, all right? So expect a lot of conduct stuff, things to be focused on every year. We do that every single year, but especially this year, we even have assignments on it. All right. I'll show some photos as we keep talking, because it's always just good to kind of see some of the things that are going on. Right. We have all kinds of huge list of animals in the room. We had a lot last year. We're going to have even more this year. Almost don't even know where to start, right? So, we have arthropods. That's a tarantula. That's Xena in the room. No one has to hold the tarantula. We have tarantula. These are the arthropods, the things that just have the exoskeleton. So we have hermit crabs, tarantulas, all kinds of bugs that we feed the animals. And the students do need to understand these. They need to understand how to raise arthropods and feeder bugs and take good care of them and feed them the right stuff, because this does give them a huge advantage, plain and simple, if they want to get a job at a zoo or something like that, because this is what gets fed to all the animals. And this is also knowing how to take care of feeder animals makes a difference from someone buying a lizard at a pet store that lasts 6 months versus someone who buys a lizard at a pet store and it lives for 15 years, right? So we need to know everything, all the ins and outs. So if a student is uncomfortable with something, we encourage them to get more comfortable with it. And it's very easy when the students are around this stuff every year. So we have, this was a funeral for a beta fish. We have dogs that come in. We teach them how to be safe. Oh, this is we're taking temperatures. You know, giving some individual attention to our bunnies and things like that. So even though we have lots of things, you know, we have, let me go over some of the list of things here. We have rats, ferrets, hedgehogs, mice, guinea pig, rabbit. We should be getting hamsters, gerbils, chinchillas. We have Russian tortoise. We have boa constrictor, leopard gecko, Achy monitor, axolotl, Pac-Man frog. We do have a new bird this year, canary-winged BB. To teach, you know, students have to learn about taking care of birds and parrots. There goes a little baby rat over there. We have all kinds of stuff, right? Safety, right? Here's an animal that would bite if it's scared, you know, when it's scared to get and its nails trimmed. So here we're showing how to make things very safe. The dog had a muzzle on, how to restrain the dog properly, to keep the dog safe, you know, and stressing out the dog as little as possible. So they clip their nails. They need to know these kind of things for things like first aid and CPR too. All this stuff applies. There's more photos of rat training and baths and clipping ferret nails. And there goes Steve, our bearded dragon. And oh, that's Cosmo is getting dressed up. Our student brought in their little chihuahua. Students learning how to handle the leashes. We call it leash ninja. All the students have to be a leash ninja. I mean, they need to be able to handle that leash so quick and efficiently without getting them tangled and being able to stop dogs from jumping on people or knocking things over. So if they work at a kennel or a veterinarian, someone hands them their dog, they're like a fish in water. Like they truly learn to be professionals. And there's all our rats. And class is so great. So excited, right? There goes Mr. Hamilton. He is our TA, and he is great. He is great. He helps out with the students. He's building some new cages we got in with some of the students. It really is not, I'm telling you, it's so much more than just becoming an expert with animals, with pet animals. I say the employability skills that they learn and their ability to interact with each other. The students also all have to manage each other, meaning everyday students, but you know, they rotate becoming managers and directing the other students to do things. So the students basically have to learn 3 roles, and they have to get good at it, right? They have to learn how to be a worker and how to take directions and how to be respectful to someone who's managing them, even if it's someone who normally they see as their peer, right? They also need to know how to manage, and they need to get the experience to know how to be able to talk to students who are underneath them, who they need to give directions to, and they have to learn how to work with their equals on, basically their peers. And again, they're developing skills that will help them when they become employable, right? We don't want to see, even though we do see in the beginning, especially with the new students that come in, we don't want to see them bickering. We don't want to see them arguing. We don't want to see them being disrespectful to each other. We really want them, which they do in 2 years, learn the art of being able to work in an environment and be the type of worker that the employees love, all right? And so we're doing a lot of modeling with that sort of stuff, all right? And we have fun in the class, you know. So a student who's singing a song for us, and here's a student, you know, doing some of her rat training, some clicker training. Oh, we went to Albany. We went to Albany, to the Capitol, to show off our animal training program, because it is a field that is becoming more regulated. It's been sort of like the Wild West out there, but now, you know, there is a huge demand for people who are qualified to train animals. Little baby kitten, bird. Someone brought in like their bird. We have all kinds of cool stuff come in here. Let's test the bird. This is a bird that a student brought in. It's flying around our room. It's just, the class is great. Oh, those were some of our new animals we brought in last year. They're all a lot bigger right now. All right. A lot of students getting over their fears, holding these things. Oh, I can't wait to see you guys. All right. It's just so great. Oh, there goes Lucky. So great class. All kinds of cool stuff. All kinds of cool stuff happening. You know, holding little baby rats. This year, the students will learn how to do all kinds of things with training. The students will learn how to. We're going to train the rats to do scent detection. Did I already say this? Scent detection, service sort of stuff, tricks, everything. All right. This is our. That's Apricot, our Pac-Man frog. And here's some students learning how to do proper lifts on Darcy. She's class dog, and she is great because her hair just keeps growing. So they always have a dog to detangle and use brushes and put bandages on when we're doing first aid and CPR. Here was a bird that we were trimming the beak. There's a little budgie. Brushing. So very, 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 very hands-on in this class. All right. So we move on to more stuff. All right. Now, class rules. Class rules. I don't think I have much of a handout for it. I don't have anything to put on my presentation here for you. So we'll put that in the background. Or put my cool green screen. All right. Certain class rules that we know right off the bat that we know that we're going to have to do is cell phones. All students, parents, please know, like, you will not be able to reach the students by cell phone once you're in the class. You would have to call the main office. Cell phones are not allowed in the classroom. All right. This year I was planning on having a lockbox for all cell phones as the students come in, and then they get them before the bell rings. Because of COVID, we want the students. We're gonna do something that will be better if they stay disciplined, meaning they're gonna stay self-disciplined and keep it in their pockets. And I only take them, put them in a plastic bag to keep it safe, and lock it up in a closet separated from other cell phones if I see them. Absolutely not allowed, except for certain things, or if a student asks for permission for certain things. But as a rule, expect cell phones are not allowed, other electronics, headphones, things like that. Again, we have to get the students, especially now after being on electronics for so long, we have to kind of disconnect them in the work environment, because it's not a good habit in the work environment. It's not a good habit in the school. Right. So expect cell phones, and headphones to not be allowed at all. All right. Not be allowed at all. Conduct, bullying. There will be lectures on bullying. I take it very, very, very seriously. Very high standards. Respect to all staff in the whole school. Okay. Again, if a student comes in, they're disrespectful even before they come in my classroom, to one of the security personnel, to Prudy, who's our building security, who takes her job very seriously. It is the type of stuff that would get them fired if they came into a job in the real world and was mouthing off to anyone inside of the company. It is basically not tolerated. Like, expect these things to be taken very, very seriously inside of the class. All right. Other rules will be lectures on. We do have a whole student code of conduct book, but bullying, professionalism, employability, very high standards for these things. Please expect it. All right. Scrub tops. Students need scrub tops. All right. They need scrub tops. As far as dress code, I expect the students to follow the dress code at their home school, and that's fine enough for me, except for they need a scrub top on. All right. So they need a scrub top on when they come in the class, and it's to be, it's to help them to be prepared, to be professional, and also to keep their clothes clean. I would actually suggest for them to have a spare scrub top with them in case they get urinated on or something like that from an animal. But they need scrub tops, all right? They need a scrub tops. If you don't know what it is, it's basically what you see a lot of the students like wearing, and not any. This was before we had the requirement, but over here, the girl, the girl behind my head over here, right? It's like what you see nurses and everyone wear. We want scrub tops. Scrub bottoms are optional, but I would suggest it if we don't want to get our pants dirty. Also, shoes, no heels. We're going to be lifting animals, working with animals, so no open toes, no heels, something with a good grip, all right? Something with a good grip. If you wouldn't wear it working in an animal hospital or working at an animal shelter, you don't wear it in the classroom, all right? So those days when there's like pajama day and stuff like that at the homeschool, make sure you bring the change, a change to BOCES so they come prepared to work, because it is a hands-on program. All right. We will be doing. I'll put this over here. All right. Professionalism. Part of professionalism, of course, is attendance. All right. Please be advised that students are only allowed, which I do not want them to even get close to this, because remember our BOCES programs, the class is like 2.5 hours long. So missing one day of BOCES is like missing a bunch of classes at the homeschool, right? It's like missing like 3 classes at the homeschool. We do a lot, all right? Matter of fact, after 6 absences, it doesn't even matter if they're excused, they have to fail the quarter, because it's just technically not getting in enough time for the program, all right? And that's an agreement that we have with the homeschools. They need to be there. So attendance is very, very important. Please make sure that they get there, all right? If it's an excused absence, that's good. It doesn't hurt them with their grades, but it's still, unless there's all kinds of prior arrangements made and I could get them to do their work, I know ahead of time, generally they have to either fail or I have to give them extra assignments to make up the hours. So please make that happen, all right? Parents, I care about your children a lot. And I am a jerk, all right? I'm a jerk for them. I hold them accountable if they're not in, and I hold the parents accountable if I believe that the parents are also not playing their part to make sure that they're getting, that they're not getting them there, all right? I'm very much by the books, and I'm rooting for your kids. I do report to CPS for educational neglect. If a student's not coming in, I contact the parents, and the students are not coming in, and they're just not and the student and the parents are not working with me or not returning phone calls to get the students in there, all right? I am that teacher. I am that guy, because I know how important it is for me be able to stick on their resume that the student is punctual, all right? It's a good thing to put on there, that they're punctual, conscientious worker, they're reliable. This is what people are looking for, all right? These classes are so important. It's a launching pad to go into the real world. They're building habits right now. Letters of recommendation are very important. The letters of recommendation from the school and from me are very powerful, especially with the experience. However, it's not a given just because the students are in the class, all right? I do say no to a lot of students. I say no, or usually I say not yet. Do more before I sign my name to something, all right? I take it very, very seriously, all right? So we stay on top of it from day one. So we started resumes last year. I am working on more like a drag and drop system to give the students more ideas, more things we can put on there, skills that they have, soft skills, punctual, strong work ethic, team player. I do have employability profiles that will be in the classroom that are given by the state, And I also have one for the class where I do record everything about the student's employability and I keep a record of it, like how much initiative they take, how well they get along with others, how well they take direction. It is a part of the program, right? We encourage the students to join activities. We have HOSA, we have Skills USA, we have National Technical Honor Society. These things are gold. It makes a huge difference. It gets the job. It gets them in the school that they want. I'm telling you, this class is not difficult to get good grades in if the student puts the effort, all right? Just the slightest effort, all right? It's a very, very good class, but the students do need to put in the effort, all right? Which is easy if they love animals and they want to be here, okay? Other things, safety, we're going to be beating a lot of like the COVID stuff, to death when they come in here. I'm sure a lot of you heard of it, but there will be masks. Right now, it's masks all the time. From the moment they walk in, there will be scheduled mask breaks, all right? We'll have like mask breaks. It looks like I'm probably in a 2.5 hour slot. I'm probably going to do ideally like two 15-minute mask breaks where they'll get to go outside, go in the yard, take their masks off, stay separated from each other. If the weather is bad, we're going to separate everyone as much as possible, give them a break. And even though there's not a lunch period while they're there in my class, all right? But students do come. We have something called bucket time where the students, if they bring, try to let them, the students come with some small change so they have as close to exact change as possible. One student brings money to basically the cafe and takes in orders, and we have what's like the equivalent of like a coffee break where they get like bagels and drinks and things like that. And they generally eat that stuff while I'm teaching, or I give them a small break in order to eat that stuff, all right? But that too, we got to take off the mask for a short amount of time. Everyone is separated. We're still figuring a lot of stuff out. But the good thing is about the animal science class is we're using a lot of cleaning supplies. We're already using gloves. We're using a lot of things already to keep things clean. We're hyper aware of this sort of stuff already. It's mostly the inclusion of masks and the social distancing, which we have to add to everything. We're already washing our hands. We teach students to wash their hands a lot because, of course, we're dealing with soiled animals and stuff like that. Without saying, students have to be humane to the animals. Unfair. It's a very easy way to get kicked out of the class very, 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 very quickly. If I see a student is being inhumane, they do get, they will get kicked out. If students are not really making an effort in the class too, I definitely try to push them out of the class as soon as possible too. All right. So we want the students to take the class seriously. It is a privilege to be there. Homeschools pay a lot of money to send them there, and I definitely try to get the students moved out as quick as possible if I see it's not the right fit for them. Okay. Now I don't want to make this first lecture online here too long. This will be made into an Edpuzzle for the students. You will see all my lectures online. I will be having, the video as is like this that they can skip around to look at stuff or just play at their leisure, but also to make sure all students do watch the lecture, they will be getting uploaded into Edpuzzle. And Edpuzzle, some of the students have used it. It keeps track and they can't skip. So I can see how much that they've actually watched. And Edpuzzle allows us to embed questions into everything.
And now we can go to his job interview clean, confident, and prepared.
We got someone, there'll be me talking and then it kind of stops and there'll be questions that they have to answer. What is the first B of the 4 B's? Be clean, be nice, be silly. They answer and then it could skip, they can go backwards. A lot of my lectures I'm going to do in this form. I do open-ended questions, make sure I get feedback. I definitely want to make sure that the students are getting what they need to know from all of these lectures. All right. So I'm going to do our first little intro lecture, close this out. Welcome everyone again. There's going to be a little bit of a learning curve for everyone, but I am very motivated. I'm very excited. Despite everything that's going on, I feel I am very prepared this year for the students to teach them some really great skills. And if anyone has any specific questions, be sure to email me. I'll pop it up one more time on the screen. All right. Mr. M. Dabruzzo, MDABRUZZO at swboces.org. All right. Look forward to meeting everyone in person and having a great year.